All right, so one of the biggest things that happens, okay, when a new term comes out or when a term becomes popular is that people will constantly use the term in the wrong way. They'll have no idea what it means, but they'll keep on using the term. Some people will, but a lot of people will not. So, gaslighting and narcissist are two of those terms popular right now. So today I want to talk about gaslighting. Narcissists have a tendency to gaslight. So I thought this would be cool. I'm going to tell you guys what gaslighting looks like. I was online and the love therapist, I think it's at the.love.therapist on Instagram, posted this particular list, and I was like, ooh, that's a good list. So if you sitting there wondering if you're gaslighting people, if people are gaslighting you, or if something really is gaslighting, this is the video for you. But first, let's do our introduction and then we'll get to our list. I am Queen Aset Haru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and pass it on to anybody and everybody that you know. And please drop us a positive comment in the comment section. Today, I want you to let us know, do you gaslight people? Do people try to gaslight you? And if so, why? Let us know. Let me see. If you would like to have a reading done, or if you would like to get some Ask an Aquarius merchandise, please check out underneath this video my email, all my social media information, my Patreon page, all that good stuff is underneath this video. So now let's get to this list. So gaslighting is basically when there's a movie and it's called Gaslight, and this is what happened in the movie. So they took the term from this movie. So in the movie, there's a husband and a wife. And the husband is trying to make the wife believe that she's crazy. So he does little things and then denies it. Okay? He straight up lies about things. Like he'll, turn down the gas light. They have this little lantern thing. And he'll pretend like he didn't do it. Stuff like that. But it's all in a deliberate attempt to make the person think they're crazy when you know the person is not crazy. So here are some methods. Now, people who are narcissistic, emotional abusers, straight up liars, anybody who's trying to manipulate you mentally and emotionally may use gaslighting. And this is what it looks like. Now, you guys know I dealt with a narcissistic, sociopathic entanglement I had with a Cancer guy a long time ago. This shit fucked me up for years, okay? And a large part of it was this gaslighting behavior that I'm getting ready to tell you about right now. Number one, gaslighting looks like lying. Just straight up lying. Telling you things like, for instance, I know I saw 3 condoms in that box, but now it's only 1. No, it wasn't. It was never 3 in the box. You crazy. That is lying, gaslighting. Because that box did have 3 condoms in it. They probably used 2 of them with a different person while you was at work. And then they're going to lie to you and make you think that you crazy and it was never 3 in the box in the first place. Okay? So this is a perfect example of that kind of thing. Many of us have experienced this. And it's usually a tactic of someone who, in that case with the condoms, doesn't want to get caught. They're trying to keep you off the trail, Or if you figure out something they didn't want you to figure out. Number 2, gaslighting looks like minimalizing, discounting, or making you question your perception, your thoughts, and your memories. And this is deliberate, so they'll continuously do this to you. Like, for example, when we talked about the lying, we talked about the 3 condoms being in the box. But they're questioning your memory with this too. Like, no, it never was 3. It was only 1. So now they're making you question yourself. Like, Was it really 3 in the box? And this is what they do to you, because even a smart person, if a person keeps lying and pushing their lie, or keeps on minimizing or keeps discounting what you said, you might wonder, like, after a while, like, was I right? Was it 3 in the box? Like, you might start to think that to yourself. Yeah, it was 3 in the box, damn it. This person is lying to you. So here we are, them questioning your memory, and now they got you questioning your memory. So now the gaslighting is working because you're questioning yourself. Invalidating your feelings or concerns. The gaslighter will make you think that you are hysterical, your feelings are irrational, your concerns are stupid or don't make any sense. And remember, men and women do this. This is not just a one gender thing. Men and women can be a gaslighter. Men or women can be emotionally abusive. You know, a lot of times we see it with men because it's often in cinema, it's often on television. You know, you see it very frequently, but it can happen with either gender in any type of relationship. Discrediting you to others or aligning people against you. They will almost always do this, especially when you don't want to mess with them no more. If you come to a space where you're trying to get away from the gaslighter, they will almost always do this because they don't want you to be able to tell other people how awful they are. And if you do tell other people, they want other people to not believe you and to question what you're saying to them. So they'll align people against you. They will put you down to others. They do whatever they got to do so people will not believe when you start telling them the truth about that gaslighter. Deflecting blame or blame shifting. Oh my God, I went through this every day. I don't care what my ex-entanglement did. Somehow in a way it was my fault. I don't care what he did, he always found a way. And mind you, this relationship ended when I was 27. So it was not a recent relationship, but I can remember every damn detail. He found a way always that it wasn't his fault. It was either my fault or somebody else's fault or some kind of way. And this is everything in his life. He was talking to me about things when he was a child. In some kind of way, it was his mama's fault. It was his dad's fault. Well, my dad told me to do this, or my mom said this. I remember he was telling me this story about a pencil. And he was saying he stabbed his teacher with a pencil, was basically the bottom line. And his father said to him something about, you know, why'd you do that, that kind of thing. And they started talking about it back and forth. And his father said to him, you only apologize when you really mean it. So he took that as a small child that he didn't have to apologize because he never really meant it. So every time you say, like, you know, you could at least apologize. Well, my dad told me in 1975, you know, not to apologize. And I'm like, oh my God. So it's his dad's fault that you don't know how to apologize, right? So, and this is what he was saying to me in a conversation about why he didn't know how to give an apology. So I was like, but your dad didn't say don't apologize. He said don't apologize if you don't mean it. So I took that to mean he never meant it. He don't mean it. So they find a way to blame somebody or something, anything but themselves. I don't think I've ever heard him admit something was his fault. Ever. And a lot of stuff was his fault, but I never heard him say that. Denying they said or did something, rewriting history. This goes with lying for real and with those memories, but they have a great knack for rewriting history, and they rewrite it how they want it to be, and they will change it. They'll argue you down about that history that they just rewrote, and then 6 months later they might need to rewrite it again. And you're like, wait a minute, that's not what you said 6 months ago. Oh, yes, it was. And now they start questioning your perception again. So all of this keeps taking you back to questioning yourself. Denying wrongdoing and avoiding responsibility for choices. So again, here's some more lying activities, but also it's that denial and responsibility for their own choices. So if they do something that was clearly their choice, they will then deny that. Oh, that's not really what I wanted to do. I only did that because you did this, or because you said that, or because you couldn't do that. You know, straight up denial, and they constantly talk about responsibility. Responsibility and accountability are two words that a gaslighter does not even have in their vocabulary. Telling you that you shouldn't trust others. Gaslighters want you to trust them and them only. And a lot of men, I've heard a lot of men do this. A lot of men will tell women, you shouldn't trust your girlfriends. Oh, tell your friend to find a man of her own. You know, they'll say little smart shit like that. Now, I believe that some women are treacherous. So some of these men, the reason why they're saying that is because that girlfriend might have came on to him or something like that. But in other cases, when you're dealing with a gaslighter, he's saying that because these people are telling you right. So if you know that people truly love you, I'm not talking about just somebody that you think like you a little bit, but I'm talking about like your mama, your sister, somebody that you think truly loves you. Your children are telling you this person is abusing you. And they will tell you, you shouldn't trust that person. They just trying to break us up. You shouldn't trust that person because they're jealous of us. You shouldn't trust that person because they want me. Okay? When you're dealing with a gaslighter, none of that is true. They're just saying that to you so you won't trust the people that's telling you right. And I've seen a lot of people, and it's common with men, but again, women can do this too, but I've seen it with men a lot because they'll be trying to mess with your friend. They'll be trying to fuck her behind the scenes, and she'll come tell you, and then he's like, no, you can't trust her. Now you know, you thinking, okay, well, this is my dude, so, and you trust him instead. Not thinking about, wait a minute, I've been friends with this person all this time. If this is the case, why is this the first time this has ever happened? You know, sometimes they do stuff that makes it really difficult for you to know who's being honest. And they do that to alienate you. Hiding things, then pretending they don't know anything about it. Oh my God, this is next level gaslighter. I remember I was friendly with this young lady, right? And she was into tarot. Now, she lives in the Bible Belt. So things like tarot and things like that, people don't know a lot about. And what they do think about it is not positive. They think it's devil worship or something, not realizing that pagans don't have a devil. The devil is a Christian concept. But that's a whole nother concept. That's a whole nother video. Anyway, so people think it's devilish and whatever. She bought this really beautiful tarot deck. It was brand new. It just came out. It had gilded edges around it. It was really decent. So her ex, now he's ex, the time he was her current, her ex took it. He just, you know, when she was out the room, he just took it and put it in his car. I guess he intended upon burning it or throwing it away or something. Well, me and her was talking about it, and I was like, nah, he stole that shit. I mean, I felt it before, because she said, I can't find it, is what she said. She was like, Queen, I just got it, and I can't find it. And I was like, nah, homeboy took it. And she was like, why would he take it? He doesn't read tarot. And I was like, nah, he took it. So she asked him about it. Of course, he denied it. Why would I do that? You know, I didn't even say it, you know. Lied through his teeth. Helped her look for it, okay? For days. The third day. So I don't know if he threw it away or bought another one or what. But the third day, they were looking under the bed and he found it. Awfully convenient, okay? And I said to her, dog, that's some bullshit. And she was like, you know what? Yeah. And they ended up breaking up later about something that was unrelated. But I told her at that time, if he's doing stuff like that, that's not a good sign. That's a sign of an abuser. And here we see that somebody who's gaslighting will do stuff like that. He never admitted that he took it. I think what happened was he took it because he didn't want her to have it. He threw it in the trash. She wouldn't let it go because she was bitching about it and harping on it. She wouldn't let it go, as she should. And he figured, well, you know what? She's not going to let this go. I'm not going to be able to pretend like I don't know, know anything. She's not going to let it go. And I think he went and bought another one. And while she wasn't looking, he slid it under the bed. So That's something that I've seen before that I was just like, that's awful. Degrading statements or false accusations. Gaslighters constantly degrade you, constantly try to put you down. My ex entanglement was constantly doing that. You know, not in the beginning, because they don't do it at first. At first, they try to build you up. They try to talk about how great you are. And then at the end, when their true colors come out, then they start talking about all your flaws and how you're not this and you don't do that and blah, blah, blah. You know, they give all kinds of degrading statements about you, accuse you of doing stuff that you probably didn't even do, or they have no reason to even think you did. You know, just anything to besmirch your character or to put you down. Very common thing that a gaslighter does. Again, everything is about making you doubt your perception. So you probably think you're an okay person, maybe even a good person, but they want you to think you ain't shit. So they're going to keep on making you doubt your perception, even about yourself. So you can see how maniacal and mental this is. This is some sociopathic shit. That's what I'm talking about. They will twist stories in their favor. Always. Every story is going to go in their favor. Some kind of way. Most of the time, they're the victim. They're usually the victim of somebody else's, you know, harming them. There's always something. There's always some kind of way to twist the story so that they are the victim or they're the one who was the hero, or, you know, there's always some kind of way they want to twist it to make themselves look good. Projecting. They will project their own bad behavior onto you. For example, have you ever not been cheating and your significant other kept accusing you of cheating, and then you find out that person was cheating? That's projection. They're cheating, and so they probably figure, well, if I'm cheating, God knows what this person is doing, you know? So that's projection. They projecting their bad behavior onto you. Oftentimes, whatever their bad behavior is, they will push it onto you. If you tell them, I think you're emotionally abusing me, then they'll turn it back and be like, well, you emotionally abused me too. Yesterday, you told me you didn't like my haircut, you know, or you said this to me. Maybe you said something mean to them. Maybe you got mad and snapped on them. Well, last week, you snapped on me. You're abusing me as well. They always twisting and projecting, you know, and this is a very common tactic. Withholding information. They withhold information, but withholding information can be positive or negative. In this case, it's going to be negative because they're withholding information to make you doubt your perception. So if they know something is going to prove to you your point, like let's go back to the example with the condoms. So they told you the condom box only had one condom. The manufacturer sent them a box that didn't have 3 condoms. It is not their fault. However, if they have a conversation, or if, like, let's say you call the store or something, let's say that you called the store and the person there calls back and says, no, that package was sealed. It was definitely 3 condoms in that package. They will make sure you did not get that information. Okay? I remember this guy was telling me his girlfriend got an STD. Okay? And she cheated. She got an STD. She gave it to him. So when the doctor called to tell him, yeah, you have an STD and you need to come get treated, the doctor didn't say, you know, the information. It was on the answering machine. That's how long ago this was. It was on the phone. So the doctor says something to the effect of, can you please call our office? We, you know, need to see you, or something like that. Something very basic. So he was telling me that the girlfriend got to the answering machine before him and deleted the message. So she withholding the information that he had an STD because then he would know that she gave him the STD. And I was like, how long did she think she was going to withhold that information? I mean, at some point in time, he was going to wonder why the doctor never called with his results, you know? But she was sneaky, and I guess she thought that she was going to gaslight him in that way. And it's just like, that's not going to work. You can withhold that information, but eventually he's going to call himself. Even if he doesn't get a call from them, he's going to call them and ask them where are his results. So this kind of thing, sneaky people, man, they think of these kind of things, and they don't even make sense. isolating you. Gaslighters always isolate you for the same reason that they tell you not to trust other people. They want to be able to have control over your mind and your spirit and your everything, really. And if you are trusting other people or around other people, then other people are going to tell you, like, dog, this don't make sense. You know, it was more than one condom in that box. You know, people are going to be telling you, like, what is, like, for real? You know, people that care about you are going to hip you. And they're like, I got to keep her away from people, got to keep him away from people that are going to spill the beans. So they isolate you with just them as much as they possibly can. And the last one says, gaslighting looks like sporadic, positive reinforcement to confuse. My ex-entanglement would do this too. So sporadically, they give you positive reinforcement. So it starts off with the love bombing in the very beginning. In the very beginning, you're the greatest person in the world. Nobody can fuck with you. You're the greatest, you know? Then as the relationship gets further in and they start to tear at your self-esteem, then that ends. But there are still times when you're the greatest. Okay? So they come back with that. And it's to confuse you. And because you're thinking, well, they're not all bad. She's not all bad. She does give me compliments sometimes. He's not all bad. He does say he loves me sometimes. But it's all gaslighting. Again, to get you to not see that this person don't love you. This person don't even care about you. But if they can pretend like they're giving you some positive reinforcement, and for the most part they do it so sporadically that it just pops out of nowhere. Maybe when they're in a good mood or something, it just pops out, and then they're right back the next day or the next minute to calling you out your name. You know what I'm saying? Or talking about how awful you are, or whatever the case is. So that reinforcement, that positive reinforcement, is just a trick. It's just a trick to keep you, from saying, you know what, I'm tired of you. Like, I am really tired of you. I'm tired of your crap. I'm tired of your mouth. I'm tired of you. So that's all that is. Now, in most cases, most people, the gaslighting usually, it lasts as long as you allow the emotional abuse to last. A good portion of people eventually see it for what it is and leave that person alone. But then there are some people who go into those cycles and they might be with that person the rest of their life or a good portion of their life, Luckily for me, I only dealt with that type of person, that particular entanglement, for 2 years. After that, it was pretty much over, It was some cameos, some back and forth, but it was over, Good riddance. But the bottom line is that in these types of situations, you have to be really careful because they damage you. They damage you. Even after the person is gone, you're still dealing with the way that they played with your mind and you rewiring your mind. That's why I always tell people, when you escape your abuser, don't be like me. Never speak to them again. You don't need closure. You don't need none of that. If something happens to them, that's on them. They can deal with it. They can deal with this all this time without you. They don't need you now, If you dealt with somebody like that, never speak to them again. Because when you start to retrain and reprogram your brain to go in the right direction, they're going to come right back in from day one and start reprogramming you. First chance they get. So don't even bother with them. Get you some therapy and move the hell on. All right, so now we're going to do some positive comments. The first one came from Aquarius Star Child. Oh, that's a beautiful name. Hey. I think it's a she, if I'm not mistaken. Aquarius Star Child said, I am hated for my bluntness. People say, oh, I want someone to tell me straight. But when you tell them, yes, your bum does look big in those jeans, I get told off and shouted at. Laugh out loud. I hate liars also. Yeah, people do tell you, be real with me. Be straight up with me. And some people mean it. Some people can handle the truth and some people cannot. So it's really up to you to know your relationship and know how the person needs to be approached. Does the person need you to say, yeah, your bum look big in those jeans? Or do they need you to say, I like like those jeans, but maybe one size a little bigger could be better. You know, it's the same sentence, but it's said in two different ways. And some people need the second sentence. And once I realized that, I stopped having so many problems with those people. A lot of people, you know, they want to be blunt, they want to be straight up. Or people say be blunt, be straight up, but that's not always the case. So for me, it's based on the person. If it's a person I know and I know they can handle the real deal, I'll be straight up. If it's a person I don't know and they could be sensitive, I'll say the same thing in a very kind way. So as an Aquarius, I think that could be really helpful, you know, for a lot of us, because a lot of us feel like that. Like we want to tell the truth, but we don't want to get into these situations where the other person is like pissed at us. But the only way I've learned to handle that is to watch how you say it. They always say it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Community service. Hey, community service. Community service said, you are so correct. You will only get me once. Once the trust is gone, you will never get it back. I don't play baseball with people. The unconditional love is me not harming you. So when I am done, I am done. Yeah, I'm feeling you on that. I do believe in unconditional love, but I think that some of the times people use that as an emotional tactic to keep you in a bad situation, because they'll be abusing you the whole time and saying, but I thought you loved me unconditionally. How could you leave me? They'll start making you feel guilty with that unconditional love statement. Just because you love somebody unconditionally doesn't mean you got to put up with their shit unconditionally. I can love you unconditionally from afar. As a matter of fact, I love quite a few people I don't talk to. I backed up off them because they're toxic and dangerous. But love is not like that. That's why it's unconditional. Because if you unconditionally love somebody, you will probably always unconditionally love them. That's the fucked up part. Because if they're a bad person, you're still going to love them. But you got to stay away from them. And this is what I went through with my Cancer entanglement. It was like, I really, 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 really love you, but you toxic. So I got to just learn to be okay. I got to find a way to cope with knowing that love is there, but not letting your toxic ass come near me to try to gaslight me and reprogram me to believe the bullshit you want me to believe. It's hard. It's hard to love somebody, but know that you can never go anywhere near them ever again. But you got to love yourself more than that other person. And that's what makes you do it. That's what makes you push through. Okay? All right, guys. That was the last positive comment. So you come back soon because I got a lot more to say. See you later.